4-cylinder engine in a Jaguar is nothing new. The British marque might be better known for having thunderous V12 powerplants under the bonnet in the past, but it's been stuffing reduced cylinder motors into its cars since the X-Type saloon arrived at the turn of the century. However, this is the first time the brand with the leaping cat has plonked the four-pod into one of its sports cars. And not just any sports car, the glorious-looking F-Type, that until now has boasted a traditional Jaguar soundtrack of gargling V6 and V8 orchestras. So the big question that needs answering is, when it comes to cylinders, is less really more? Rob Hall spent a week with a new 2.0-liter model to find out. Irrespective of what lurks beneath the traditional lengthy hood, the F-Type is, in my eyes, the best-looking sub-£100,000 new car on the market today. Parade your 2.0-liter Jag down the tarmac catwalk, and even the modestly trained eye will struggle to tell it apart from the V6 and V8 that have come before it. So what's the telltale sign for those not in the know-The giveaway that you've scrimped on cylinders? Is the single exhaust outlet. Located centrally and in the shape of the kind of vacuum nozzle used to reach tight corners, it stands apart from the double oval exhaust tips of its gruntier siblings, positioned together centrally with the V6 and split for the V8. While the entry-spec model does lack the outright ferocity of the V-mounted motors and the pricier pair, it still isn't short on horsepower. Using the same ingenious power plant that's already available in the C and XF saloons and the F-Pace SUV, it produces a respectable 296 bhp. By today's standards, that's merely hot hatch territory. But 2 decades ago that would have trumped the 5.3-liter V12 engine in the XJS on sale at the time. Like every other car manufacturer, Jaguar must be feeling the increasing weight of Euro emission standards on its shoulders. Ministers are desperate for an electric vehicle takeover by 2040 in the UK, and automakers are expected to make their combustion-engine cars cleaner with every year and decade that passes, as low and zero emissions targets creep closer. Even for mainstream manufacturers, like Ford, Renault, and Vauxhall with town-focused small eco-cars and spindly running costs, it's an uphill battle. For brands like Jaguar, where the mastery lies with high-performance luxury cars, it's like trying to climb Everest in ice skates. One of the easiest solutions to comply with these pollution regulations is for car makers to offer smaller capacity engines to haul down the average emissions outputs of their range, thus keeping the likes of Chancellor Philip Hammond happy, for the time being anyway. But we also shouldn't underestimate cunning marketing when it comes to car selling. Jaguar knows the F-Type is one of the most revered cars in showrooms today. Introduce a cheaper version and sales figures are almost certainly going to rise. is it a significantly more affordable F-Type than its new 2.0-liter engine has dragged the cost of the coupe towards the £50,000 mark, and prices for the convertible, which I had on test, now start from £56,280. That said, it barely trims the asking fee of the lowest-priced V6-powered option.So, up an extra £3,000, and you can add an extra liter to the capacity of your engine and bask in six-cylinder chorus. Like for like, there's little to split the 4 and cheapest 6 in terms of on-paper performance and running costs too. The V8 is almost twice as expensive to buy and run. However, this suggests that Jaguar believes the 2.0-liter has something to offer other than a slightly more affordable passage into F-Type ownership. With a new power plant shaving 52 kilograms off the weight of the six-cylinder car, the equivalent of slinging a flyweight boxer off the bonnet, and even more off the V8, the four-cylinder F-Type instantly feels more agile, especially in slower turns. Getting out of a corner is easier too, thanks mainly to the sub-300 bhp power output that's made the performance more attainable to those that don't possess the reflexes of Lewis Hamilton. Punch the accelerator pedal at the exit of a bend, and the rear tires cling on for dear life, launching you out of the turn with barely a hint of drama. Try doing the same in the 542 bhp V8 F-Type with a smidgen of wheel angle applied, and you'll be greeted by bottom-clenching traction loss, leaving you no option but to pray to the motoring gods that there's a stability control safety net to stop your near 100,000-pound car from pirouetting in a cloud of rubber smoke. So not only does the introduction of the 4-pot engine make the F-Type sharper in corners, it also doesn't intimidate a driver each time they prod it with their right foot. That's not to suggest it's still an anyway.But. Peak torque is available from just 1,500 RPM, so the potential for it to pin you to the back of your seat when you floor the throttle from a standstill very much still lurks. Keep your foot in for longer, and you can thrash the 4-cylinder motor, enjoying the full potency that's on tap without the worry of it snapping on you like an Alex Ferguson halftime team talk with his side 4 goals down. It's more compliant in town too, with the reduced power and weight complemented by plusher suspension springs that soak up some of the jolts and judders the V6 and V8 struggled to subdue. Car makers are crafty bunch. Crippling emissions standards might mean they can no longer produce new booming V12s and characterful V8s that comply with the new Euro 6 requirements, but they can still make you think you're driving one by piping an artificial soundtrack into the cabin. While Jaguar hasn't tried to masquerade the new 2.0-liter engine as having twice as many cylinders, from inside it does appear to have a distinctly roarty soundtrack for a car with just 4 working away under the bonnet. The sound becomes more exuberant when you engage the louder exhaust mode, which ramps up the volume and adds a few equal-ordered crackles and bangs each time you lift your foot off the accelerator. But there's no hiding the reality of the engine note once you retract the F-Type convertible's fabric canopy, much to my disappointment. Roof up, occupants would be fooled into thinking it has the bark of a wound-up Rottweiler. Roof down, you quickly realize it's more bitch and fries with bronchitis.The question originally asked was, when it comes to cylinders, is less really more in terms of being able to exploit the performance? Undoubtedly. It's the best F-Type for cornering fast, accelerating hard and changing direction with immediate zip. The 2.0-liter F-Type is much pricier than the Porsche's too, setting you back an extra £10,000 or so. If I was lucky enough to be looking to blow around £50,000 on a stylish two-seater, I wouldn't choose the Porsche. And I wouldn't pick the four-cylinder Jaguar either. Because I'd stump up the extra £3,000 or so for the cooler V6 F-Type. What it lacks in fine-tuned finesse it gains with a biblical exhaust rumble and bountiful power that you'll never bore of trying to exploit on the road. The V8 version is even shoutier and more of a struggle to tame, but the unwieldy beast will bowl you over for those reasons alone. Ultimately, Jaguar's fewer-cylinder F-Type is the easiest, and as a result, joyless to drive, and that's why I'd pay a little bit extra for an engine upgrade.